Folks, is Bitcoin and Ethereum about to break down here? I will show you today the good news and the bad news so you can make your own decision. But of course, I've got my own idea of what I think is going to happen. This chart you're probably not going to see anywhere else. This is the ETH average order size. I'll first start with ETH and then Bitcoin. We've got the charts, we've got the on-chain data. So you can see this green triangle is basically whale orders when whales are buying. And this was the January 2021 run up, right, to 4,400, and then the run up to 4,800, where whales didn't participate, and that actually marked the bottom at the top of the market, right? So basically, this red square is when retails are buying, right? Red square. And this, we can see this diamond shape, it's when whales are leaving, whales left, right? So we can see here, whales leaving, right? And retail buying. So basically, or neutral. Well, this is actually neutral. So this signaled that it could go higher. We had another pump, and this signaled we were coming down, right, into bear market. So what are we looking at here? And once again, the chart works here. We can see this was March, Feb 2024 last year, and we saw a lot of these neutral orders or retail orders. So whales were not really buying here. But here, look, whales are accumulating, right? Can folks see this on my chart? Yeah, whales are accumulating here. They're buying. So the good news is that whales are buying ETH, right? Whales are buying ETH. But the bad news is, and by the way, whales weren't buying this move, but this was still a very profitable move and still very good if you were buying alts in late 2021. I mean, you guys remember how good it was in late 2021, how good the altcoin run was. So let's have a look at what the Bitcoin whales are doing. So here is basically a chart of Bitcoin as sorted out by the different Bitcoin groups. Like you got the above 10,000 coin wallets, super whales. You've got the 1,000 to 10,000 whales. They're the most important group in my opinion. 100 to 1,000 still important. 10 to 100 is more into retail. 1 to 10 is retail, and these are shrimps. So, but it does carry an important message. Look at this. So the more red it is, the more they're selling. The more blue it is, the more they're buying, right? With yellow in between. So when they were all blue, right? Like here, everything was blue. December 24, everyone was buying. I mean, even here, they were deep blue. Like these whales, $10,000 whales, I mean, they actually are not that accurate a signal. So here, everyone else was buying, and we went from 70-something K to 108K. And my call was for it to bottom at 74K, 73K, we went to 74. And when we got up to here, look at this. Everybody was selling. Everybody was selling Bitcoin. Everybody was selling Bitcoin. So then it went down to 73K. Okay, to like 73K again here. 74K. My call was for 73K. That's what I was talking about. So and then basically it bottomed here, right? And some of these charts were neutral, went into yellow, meaning some were buying, some were selling. So they were kind of mixed. The small fishes were still selling on the bounce, but the bigger guys like the 100 to 1,000, 1,000 and above, they were buying, right? And then we rallied, and then most people were buying, right? And we got to this high, and they were still buying. Everybody's still buying at 120K. But recently, when we had this dip, everybody started selling. And here's the thing: everybody selling is not necessarily a bad. I don't know. Like this might sound crazy, but everybody selling may not be a terrible signal. Here, everybody is selling, and yes, it kind of, kind of marked the start of the downtrend, but this is only like a 1 year chart. We only have this 1 year chart we can go off. You also see periods here where there were, very few blues when people were buying. Periods here when there were very few blues and the market kept on going up. Certainly alts performed well during this period anyway. So I'm not saying this red period will last as long as this. I mean, this went from January to May, right? So I'm not saying the last 4 months. It could last like 2 weeks and be over. Like look, this blue period could be 2 weeks and then it's over. And also remember these whales, this chart did not tell us who was buying on the April 7th bottom. This was April 7th when everything bottomed, right? It was still very red here, very red, even after April 7th. And then it was only here, right, in late April, early May, showed the big whales were buying, right? 100 to 1K and 1K to $10,000 coins, wallets were buying. And I guess, so it didn't help us time the bottom there, but it did help us time the top there. So I would say, as always, no signal is 100%, so we always need to be careful, right? We always need to be careful. But what actually caused the dump, right, in Bitcoin today to 110K? Pablo's target has finally been hit. Before we answer that question, first let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo Jimenez use? Well, Pablo uses this exchange that's non-KYC. That means you don't need to show any ID. That means even the exchange can't see who you are. That means the IRS can't see you, the tax office can't see you, the FBI, CIA, nobody can see you, right? Total privacy. That's why Pablo made this deal with them just for my followers. So this is a weekly, not monthly, but weekly prize pool of up to $25,000 just by trading. So basically we can see there are like $2,000, $4,000, $8,000, $15,000, $25,000, different prizes just for trading. Whether it's trading volume or trading P&L, they do this every week. This is not an exchange-wide competition. This is just for my followers. So even if you're just in the top 60 of the Pablo competition, you get to win a prize. Top 10 of the overall P&L competition, you get to win a prize, right? So, but remember folks, this is limited time only. This deal finishes on September the 12th. And for folks who are watching this on YouTube, the link is in the description below. The link is in the description below. But if you're on any other platform such as this one, then just click on my profile page and there is my link tree or Stan link. And when we click on that, this should be the first deal that pops up because this is a great deal. Okay, let's get back to the markets, folks. But keep in mind, this deal is only on the Pablo Jimenez link, only on the Pablo Jimenez link. So the situation, I thought what happened today was the dump. We're now, by the way, we're now at 112 baht, which is kind of a nice bounce. But look, we hit Pablo's target, which was 110.5. Look, I kept on saying this 110.5 area. Why? It's because this top here, 110.5, and also this top here, 110.5, right? Well, it's a little bit lower than this top, so I thought, I kept on saying, well, we could go to 110.5, just when I thought, okay, maybe we had a big bounce and we're going to go up. I thought we're going to dip down and go up and maybe not hit 110.5. Boom, it goes to 110.5 and bounce. And then goes to 110.5 and bounce. And I'm making this video right now at 40 past noon, 40 minutes past 12:40 noon New York time right now on the Monday. So if this closes as a bottoming tail like this, if this candle closes at 113 and above today on the Monday, then I'm willing to say we probably have bottomed if we can close above 113. Bottoming tail here, bounces off the level that I thought it was going to bottom at. We've had two tests, and I don't think this was caused by whale selling. Yes, there were whales selling. So there were whales selling, like we saw, like look at this. 2,000 coins, 4,000 coins, 6,000 coins, 4,000 coins. One whale wallet, this one single whale wallet, so that's the whale wallet, basically sold like 24,000 coins in a few, in like less than 2 hours. And basically, they think that's what caused the crash. I beg to differ. I think what caused the crash was basically Binance. Binance caused the crash. So big exchanges, they basically, look at this here. This here and this bottom place here. Traders bought the dip here and bought the dip here. How do we know they bought the dip? I marked it with 2 X's because when we come down to the 2 X's, right, same time on the timeline, we see boom, these big jumps. What are they? Exchange funding rates, right? This line here is 0.01. This up here is 0.03, right? So 3 times larger than normal. Why? Because here and here, traders bought the dip and went long. Went long here, and then boom, the exchanges took out all the traders. And here's open interest. We can see after this cross and this cross, right, open interest has kept on climbing. Traders were going long. That's why open interest basically measures the number of contracts that are open right now. And we can see traders going long, and they bought here and they bought here. They were going long at these 2 places, and that's why market makers flashed them out. And this is the number of long liquidations. Look at this, massive, right? Okay, so I thought it's just an excuse to say that whales were selling, and they used that excuse to basically dump on the market. It's basically, if it's not a real dump by whales, if this was a real dump by whales and this was top of the market, then, or even a local top, then that's a different story. Then basically there's more supply and demand. Right now, I think what caused this, I'm about 70% sure, and you can never be 100% sure in the markets. We're always playing with probabilities. I'm about 70% sure that this was caused by exchange manipulation from Binance. So therefore, if we can close above 113 here in the next 6 or 7 hours, right, we make the Monday close here, then I think there's a good chance we've bottomed, the manipulation is over, and there's a chance Bitcoin will do something like this. Like it can still dip down halfway or so into the wick. Here's the wick of the candle, but eventually go up. And certainly ETH is looking strong. Like we're seeing a lot of data, a lot of unchained data. The people who are selling these coins, who are selling Bitcoin, some whales, that's my editing, is here, who are selling coins basically just to buy, like this guy, who are selling these Bitcoins, like he sold like more than $1 billion of Bitcoin to buy ETH. Would you believe it? Right? He sold Bitcoin. This is his wallet. He bought ETH. He sold $6,000 of Bitcoin, bought $4,000 of ETH. Right? And like down the bottom of the page, he sold more Bitcoin. He's buying $6,000, $3,000, $5,000. He's just buying ETH. Right? Because like see here, he sold like something like $690 million of Bitcoin, but he's buying $18 million of ETH and $340 million of ETH, and he's buying $28 million of ETH, 14 million, 23 million, 20 million, 23 million, 28 million. This is like a 7 or 8-year-old whale who's selling Bitcoin to buy ETH. Yeah, 7 years ago. Like these are 7-year-old wallets. So if that doesn't say we're in altcoin season, I don't know what will. But you know what else says we're in altcoin season? Check this out. Okay, are you ready for this? Galaxy Digital, which is one of the, pretty much the largest, top 3, I would say, crypto stocks out there, and Multicoin and Jump, like, it's probably the largest crypto trading desk out there. Well, it used to be anyway. They're launching a $1 billion Solana fund. And there are others, if you search the news. So all up, it's about $1.5 billion Solana fund. And that explains why Solana is making this kind of a move. Let's have a look at the Solana chart. It's down today, which is not a great sign. It's down 4%. Everything else is down. Solana's down 3.9%. One of the smallest pullbacks today. But really, come on, like, such good news is coming for Solana. You would want Solana to be doing better than that. Let's put it on the weekly chart so we can get a better perspective. So since the launch of Solana in 2021, we see this trend line has been in place, and so far we haven't even touched this long trend line yet. See this trend line that goes all the way down to 2021 since launch. We have not even bounced off that yet, so that's one sign of strength. This trend line is only from December 2022 bottom at $8, and we see this bounce here, this bounce here, this bounce here. So far we're bouncing off this trend line, and that's okay. But we are still, like, that to me is a pretty bullish looking chart. Like, the entire history of Solana is basically a triangle, a bullish triangle. So basically, once we imagine, like, if we break out here at $300, it's just going to run so hard. And look, everyone's copying the Bitcoin and MicroStrategy. You have first the MicroStrategy, the Bitcoin treasuries. Then you have the Ethereum treasuries. They call them DAT, digital asset treasuries, which was Bitminer and SBET. And by the way, Bitminer has gone from last week $6.6 billion in net asset value of Ethereum to now $8.8 billion net asset value, and its stock price is only like 7% above its net asset value. When you think that a lot of times these crypto stocks can have its market cap to be like 4, 5, 6x above its net asset value, not 6%, but 6x. So I still think Bitminer and SBET are a great bet if we think if we think ETH is going up. So obviously, very strong situation for Solana. What happened to ETH and what happened to Bitcoin is coming to Solana because of the buying digital assets treasury, because of the treasuries. Like, you've had Metaplanet, MicroStrategy push up Bitcoin. You've had Bitminer and SBET pushing up Ethereum. That's why Ethereum, a bunch of others, that's why Ethereum is hitting new all-time highs even as Bitcoin is tanking, right? That's what creates this strength, and they've learned their lesson. Like, even Trump, World Libertyfi, has its own treasury company called ALTS, ALT Sigma 5. That's why they call it ALTS. It's listed on the NASDAQ. Solana, and of course, I've spoken about Solana, a bunch of Solana DAT or treasury stocks before, like DVFV, I've spoken about 3 or 4 of them. So I think Solana is the next to move, and also Solana Phone, after some delays, is finally shipping as well. So my call here is, I think we're going to continue the blow off top. We're going to continue the altcoin season, and we're going to move down the risk curve, meaning that we're going to go from Bitcoin to Ethereum, like we have right now, and then to the large caps like Solana, BNB, right, XRP, and then the mid caps and the small caps and the meme coins. Full blown altcoin season coming. Get ready for it, and get ready for the Solana apps such as SoulKeep. Not SoulKeep, but SoulMail, SoulBox, SoulChat, right? If I was a bookie, I would say 100 to 1 chance or 50 to 1 chance on SoulKeep. Okay, thank you for tuning in. Catch you guys next time.